Hey everyone. So 1 in 3 of you will die of a heart disease. And even despite all the novel technology, you're going to get your first diagnosis in the emergency room or autopsy, which is slightly too late. Heart disease is very expensive to treat. It costs $1 trillion a year. And part of these high expenses, the mismanagement of how we diagnose the disease. 30.7 billion a year are spent on admissions because of late diagnosis, and 500 million is spent on unneeded imaging scans. So it's about diagnosing it late and over-prescribing imaging scans to people that are actually that don't actually need it. So we developed a device that is very accurate in diagnosing conditions early. It allows seamless integrations into healthcare systems and doesn't require an operator. Through light, we shine a laser from a distance. Through light, we gather sounds at a frequency that had never been captured before: ECG, non-contact, blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate, and respiratory sounds. And then we have run clinical trials to diagnose several conditions on top of our data. We developed this with spin out of the University of Glasgow, with our professor Daniele Faccio, emerging chair of quantum technologies, and John Cleland, top 10 most cited cardiologist in the world. And compared to other devices, it's cheap, quick, contactless, and can be used by anyone, anywhere. So I did a PhD in biomedical engineering, and then I was an AI clinical scientist before starting this company, and my co-founder, who took the place of my professor, worked 6 years in the Medtech industry, AI R&D tech lead, and then he was a research consultant at Columbia, and we have put together a team. So from the University of Glasgow, where I did my PhD, one of the lead researchers joined us with more than 40 papers in photonics. And then from my co-founder previous company, Brainsight, the main AI research lead joined our team. And so they're part of our tech team. We have Dr. Kim Kirby, which has more than 20 years in research on how to integrate solution into clinical practice. We have a clinical team that helps in product development, and the technical team that builds the infrastructure, and then an upper ops lead. So as I was mentioning, this comes from the work of emerging quantum technologies mixed with cardiology. So our panels of advisors come from this background. And maybe one interesting thing is that our cardiology advisor was able to run a clinical trial for us from university, 3,000 patients for just $36K, which was really nice. And then obviously we have 2 regulatory consultants that help us get through CE marking. We have got 2 to be quicker. We expect CE marking as a medical device next year. And then we can deploy. What we do really is we take laser light, we capture data from during our clinical trials from several locations, very high accuracy data, and then we trained our algorithm to be able to recognize conditions when we point the laser at just one single location in 10 seconds. So you can put the laser on top of on the wall somewhere, and it can track people, and from just one location now, it can track several conditions. So what we have started with, that will get CE marking next year, is structural murmur detection and also atrial and mitral stenosis. And then we intend to go into several more conditions like carotid stenosis, atrial fibrillation, heart failure, etc. Since we started, we have published several papers. Our IP is protected. From the university, we were able to take 100% of the IP, which is quite nice. We have developed a scalable prototype, which is 98% cheaper than what it was in university. We have our first customer with the projected 100K MRR in an emerging market of non-invasive remote monitoring optimization workflow technologies. And we also have we have also developed a wearable where we are talking with the technology companies to integrate it into other solutions. And we are also thinking about healthcare systems. We are in the UK, so we have won competitions to work with basically the payers in the UK, which are integrated care boards for deployment, which we expect to be able to do next year after we get CE marking. We are getting CE marking safety this year and CE marking as a medical device the next year. Our regulatory consultants have charted out our pathway for the US, where we will be at de novo. Yeah, as I mentioned, we've already done clinical trials to validate our technology, both here and planning to do in the US. Our pricing strategy that we have developed for our first customer, and we think is going to scale to other customers, is a subscription agreement of around £500 per month on the various diagnostic algorithms that we'll provide. Compared to our competitors, we are way more accurate than the phone algorithms right now. We don't require a clinician, and we can do what Nico Health does, if you know of Nico Health. It just opened in London from the founder of Spotify. We can do what they do, but in a very small device that is much, much cheaper. We raised grants, and then we just closed $1 million in pre-seed a couple of months ago. And the reason why we're here is because we're going to raise $3 million next year to expand our range of AI models, to do FDA submission and market expansion, and we just wanted, to start meeting mentors and potential VCs for next year. Yeah, thank you.